Good evening, everyone. My name is Shamilem Ibragimov. I'm a scholar in residence at the Kuo Sharper Center for Prosperity and Entrepreneurship. And I'm happy to see everyone here today. So this information session is focused on Deep Tech Bootcamp. And it sounds like it's a little bit confusing for many in the region of Central Asia what deep tech is about. We'll speak about deep tech definition and what is deep tech and what is not deep tech during the session today. But first of all, I want to introduce my colleagues. We have Dina Sharif with us today. She is Executive Director of the Kuo Sharper Center. We have Jennifer Brody. Jennifer is our advisor, and Adel Bazeli is also our advisor at the center. So first of all, I want to thank the High Technology Park for this initiative. It was so this Deep Tech Bootcamp is a result of very long conversation that we had like for the last several months with Aziz Abakirov. And this is actually the second initiative, joint initiative of the Kuo Sharper Center, MIT Kuo Sharper Center, and High Technology Park. So this initiative was born on belief that Central Asia, and particularly Kyrgyzstan, has a tremendous potential in innovative entrepreneurship. We have highly educated population, young population, very entrepreneurial. But at the same time, we also have a very strong scientific basis that is still like stuck just as academic scientific discipline. And we don't have really practical approach how to transform scientific knowledge and emerging technologies into commercial products. So today we will speak about this. This is what is called actually deep tech. But before we jump into the discussion of the program and start answering your questions, I think it would be great if Dina, our executive director, will give a general introduction to the center. What is MIT Kuo Sharper Center, what we do, and what drives our mission? Dina, floor is yours.
Thank you, Shamil, and good evening, everyone. This is super exciting. I just want to say that for Shamil, this is probably a very special moment because he's been working very hard for the center to do more work in Central Asia, and we're extremely excited to have this be the first step and have all of you potentially be with us in a boot camp. So just to give everyone a brief, the MIT Kuo Sharper Center, which was previously called the Legatum Center for Development and Entrepreneurship and is now the MIT Kuo Sharper Center for Prosperity and Entrepreneurship. And the reason why we say prosperity and entrepreneurship is because our mission is very simple. We see entrepreneurship as a means to achieving prosperity. And so we work across global growth markets, or what many call emerging markets, to push for countries to think about how they can achieve prosperity through entrepreneurship and to also work directly with entrepreneurs. But we work specifically with entrepreneurs who are also working hard to achieve and solve complex challenges using technology in a way that will contribute to prosperity in their countries and in their regions. So the center was established in 2007. It was established by an entrepreneur from Bangladesh. His name was Iqbal Qadir, and he was a very successful entrepreneur. He started the first telecom company in Bangladesh, which led to an enormous amount of economic growth in the country because everybody knows access to a phone can create opportunity. Access to a smartphone can create even more opportunity. And so telecom creates the backbone in many ways for a variety of different new sectors to evolve. And after his exit from his business, he came to the United States and he said, why is it that for countries like mine, like Bangladesh, and when we talk about development, everyone is always saying, okay, let's apply austerity measures and let's cut government costs. But nobody talks about the importance of building an economy bottom up through venture development. And so he pushed for the establishment of this center to focus more on how entrepreneurship can transform society and create the kind of economic growth and jobs that we need. And so at the center, we have a variety of different programs. We have programs on campus at MIT. We have a flagship program, which is a student fellowship program that supports students who want to build ventures within growth markets using science and technology. We have programs off campus. We have a fellowship for advanced stage African entrepreneurs that Jennifer helped build. Jennifer was on the call right there. And that fellowship is really focused on how can we take successful entrepreneurs and work with them to build better, stronger ecosystems within their countries and connect those ecosystems together in a way that would support economic prosperity in Africa. We also, another part of our programming off campus is why you are all here, which is we do boot camps on the ground. So not everybody can be a student at MIT, but at the center, we believe we can take the best of MIT to other parts of the world. And we have a wide range of boot camps. We start with early stage boot camps, which is something Adil is working on now. We have one that's about to happen in Botswana in 2 weeks. We have growth stage boot camps, and we have what we call deep tech innovation boot camps. The reason why we created this Deep Tech Innovation Bootcamp is because if you look at innovation as a spectrum and you think that digital innovation is on this side of the spectrum, but on the other side of the spectrum is deep tech, which is the use of science and engineering to solve complex challenges in the form of a venture that can rapidly grow. Now, why do we focus on deep tech innovation in the context of growth markets is because we believe that growth markets in the aggregate are net consumers of innovation, and we are not exporting innovation. And in order for us to be globally competitive as emerging markets, in the case of Kyrgyzstan, if you want to become more globally competitive, we really need to see innovation move down the spectrum to deep tech, where we can start exporting innovation and applying science and engineering to solving some of our biggest challenges. Lastly, at the center, we do a lot of research and thought leadership, and you can see that on our website. We have a podcast, we have a blog series. Shamil writes a lot. I encourage you all to read his work because he writes a lot about Central Asia, and that has really brought a lot of attention at MIT to the potential of Central Asia. And we're very excited to be here and answer any questions you might have. This particular boot camp is really about how do you commercialize, how do you take science and innovate, how do you take science engineering or R&D in a lab, how do you take that to market and build it and scale it? So this will be the focus of this particular bootcamp, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. And thank you so much for being here with us, and I'll hand it back to Shamil.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much. I want to say that actually this Deep Tech Bootcamp is a joint initiative, not just of the High Technology Park and the MIT Kuo Sharper Center, but we also have Material Impact, which is a venture capital firm that has a specific focus on deep tech, and they have like really great expertise from the angle of investor. So they also engaged in this program to organize the knowledge, the courses. And
We have Ezgi here with us, Shamil. Maybe she can say a word about
yes, we
material.
have Ezgi here. Hi, Ezgi. Ezgi, maybe you will speak a little bit about the material impact, what exactly you do, just to give a general understanding.
And just to be clear, the managing partner of Material Impact is also part of our advisory board and business circle, and has been very involved in the expansion of the MIT Kuo Sharper Center. So over you, Ezgi, to share a little bit about Material Impact.
Hello, lovely to meet you all. I'm in a very loud place, so I'm just a little concerned that you won't be able to hear me, but we're very, very excited to work with you.
We can hear you very, very well.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're long-standing partners and huge fans of what used to be known as Legatum Center, now Kuo Sharper. We've worked very closely, and myself, I'm a recent grad of MIT Sloan, so very closely involved with the school. Material Impact is a deep tech venture firm. As you know, we have a thesis in investing in materials. What we believe is that any innovation in the world, whether it be the internet or the steam engine, about materials innovation or materials change. So what we like to do is find people that are working on the cutting edge of materials that impact global issues today and fund them at the earlier stages, whether they're at the lab or at coming out as a commercialized opportunity, to fund them early on and work with them. So we're company builders. We're very, very closely involved with the companies, and we build them from the ground up. And so we're very excited to teach you the principles upon which we invest and how we can grow deep tech businesses. So we'll be talking a lot about what is deep tech, what is the journey of an entrepreneur, what are the things that an entrepreneur has to think about as they build their venture, especially when it comes from a tech point of view. And we'll also be taking you into looking into product market fit and customer value proposition, which are two very important elements before going into technology development. Let me know if there's any further information I can provide on material impact.
Thank you, Ezgi, so much. I really appreciate it, and it was really good to hear. Just to give a logistical information, so this Deep Tech Bootcamp is organized in a way that we have two major sessions. One is online that starts on the 7th of July, and we plan to have 2.5 hours per week every Monday starting on July 7th. So it will be like 4 weeks in a row of different sessions, introduction to deep tech from different angles. And then we expect to have our participants in the mid of September. We still need to confirm the exact dates, but very likely it will be in the mid of September for 1 week in-person session here at MIT. That would be a great opportunity to dive into quite intense program, but also to build your own networking at this area at MIT, and not just at MIT, but with a broader ecosystem of Cambridge, Massachusetts. So, and now I would love to pass a word to our advisor, to Adel Bozelli, to give us a brief introduction to what is a deep tech, because Ezgi covered it a little bit, but from the angle of the VC. And I believe that we can learn more from Adel also, as a person who was in charge of organizing similar boot camps globally.
Well, thank you so much, Shamil, and it's a pleasure being here and being with everyone, and very excited for this project to kick off. And of course, thank you, Ezgi, for the introductions. So for just a quick brief about what is deep tech, I'm going to actually be borrowing a definition from Dr. Adam Sharawi, who's also the managing partner of Material Impact. And the definition I'll use is that deep tech is about products and solutions based on science and engineering with transformational potential to address society's largest problems. And I'm going to dissect that, right? So let me start by the end. So with the focus of addressing society's largest problems, deep tech is focused on changing the status quo and figuring what humanity is suffering from in various fields and industries. It could be health, it could be renewable energy, it could be anything, but there are big problems that need not the normal solutions, but need actually deeper and solutions with more understanding of the status quo, and that can change them. That is an important piece. The other very important piece is that deep tech is based on science and engineering. So, and I'll use a simple example to demonstrate that. If we're looking at, for example, a startup or an innovation enterprise that is looking to do e-commerce, and transform or help some clients get to some of their products that they're looking for, that might have great value, it might be very useful and so on, but that would not typically classify as deep tech. But if we're looking at enterprise who is based on some scientific research, R&D, who has put some IP or patent some technology that is transforming a certain industry or field, that would be more into the deep tech field. To give you an example from what you might see in a deep tech field, and I'll use healthcare as one of the very obvious examples, as we're seeing a lot more solutions coming up, and specifically in that field with evolution of other technologies like artificial intelligence. So we're seeing the use of deep learning algorithms and LLMs, whether to get patients' data, whether to capture what already exists or to capture behaviors. We're seeing this sometimes through wearables, sometimes through existing data for various deep tech applications like increasing the accuracy of diagnostics, having some personalized treatment plans, or identifying some preventive measures that could elevate the healthcare industry globally. So that's sort of a very quick brief about what is deep tech, a very simple definition for that, and a quick example to demonstrate the difference between a digital innovation, which, as I said, might be great, might be very profitable as well, and what would be a deep tech. Back to you, Shamil.
Thank you, Adel. And we have the first question that we anyway planning to cover. What are the criteria for participants in this deep tech bootcamp? So we just published an updated version of the application form. You can find it. I hope it was changed in our YouTube link. Let me cover what are the major requirements and criteria for the applicants. So this deep tech bootcamp is designed for the citizens of Kyrgyz Republic. So it doesn't mean that if your venture is registered somewhere in the other part of the world, in Silicon Valley or in Astana International Finance Center or UK or Israel, you name it, it doesn't mean that you are not eligible. You are eligible as long as you are, somebody starts sharing the screen. Could you please ban it, Nurzat, this person?
Sorry for
Somebody
this.
is,
I'm going to stop it now.
yeah, it's like, so let me continue. So we have a requirement that this program is designed for the citizens of the Kyrgyz Republic. So we want to see a very strong personal commitment to build their startup. And it should be based, as Adel described, that this venture should be based on their own idea, and it should be based on some research. It should be based on some innovation, you know, some scientific foundation. And we also, the major idea is that we will help researchers, we will help scientists to transform their scientific outcome into a specific commercial product. And the application form is relatively simple. It consists of 4 major parts. So the first part you will see it on the application form. It's like personal information, who you are, where you're from, you know, your contact information, your nationality, LinkedIn profile, your education, and we need to understand the sector or industry of your deep tech venture. The second part, pay attention to describe what is your team's background. Who are the people who are in your team? How many members are actually in your team, and what their roles, what their academic or technical background. So for us, it is very important to understand the whole team. You know that everybody who works in the venture in startups, they knows that actually good idea is just a half of the value. Good team is most important, because good teams, they create good ideas into good products. So that is why it is very important for us to understand your team background. The third part of the application is about your venture. So we need to understand what scientific principle or advanced technology is at the core of your idea. We need to understand what is the stage of your venture, the current stage of your venture. And it might be like idea, at the stage of idea, it might be proof of concept. Maybe you already have a prototype. Maybe you're testing. Maybe you have already some early users, or maybe you have already revenue generating. So please think about this and cover with as many details as possible in the venture details. We want to understand what is exactly your solution looks like. What makes your solution a deep tech or science-based innovation? We want to understand what is the traction or validation that been achieved so far. So it might be like lab results, pilot testing, research backing, user interest. Maybe you already have some grants. I mean, if you have a research grant, mention this. If you have any affiliation with the university, with any academic institution, with a research lab, please mention them. We need also to understand what are the main challenges you are currently facing. That will help us to design the program, the content of the program that will address exactly what your challenges that you face. So please be very specific when you describe the challenge that you currently face. Try to be very specific in terms if it's a technical challenge that you face. Is it business related? How to grow business? Maybe your challenge is about intellectual property, registration of patent in another jurisdiction, or maybe both. Please be specific in that sense. And of course, we need to understand where is your venture is registered. So is it in Kyrgyzstan? Is it in Silicon Valley in the United States, or might be in UK or some other jurisdiction? And the fourth part of the application is supporting materials. So if you have any documents, I don't know, a white paper, maybe you have a video that demonstrating your MVP or your service, your technology, or maybe even like experiments. Any technical documentation or research summary of your work would be very useful to assess, the maturity and complexity of your program. So I hope I was able to cover this particular topic of the application form, and let's go to the questions that we have.
Can I add something, Shamil?
Sure, please.
Just quickly, so it would also be, we also included some questions in the application about just giving you an opportunity to tell us about your experience in running a business. It doesn't even have to be this venture, but what is your kind of entrepreneurial experience? And as well, we've invited you to upload any pitch materials that you currently have for the idea that you're working on. Just wanted to add that as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. And we have some really good questions. So let me start from the beginning. Do you have any priority areas for selecting startups? We don't have any priority domains or markets. there is no requirement to use AI in your venture. It might be very different, you know. It might be in AI, it might be in biotech, it might be in construction, it might be whatever you're working on. We would love to see everything that you have, you know, and assessment would be made probably not on specific industry, but from the angle of your vision, you know, your commitment, and the level of maturity of your idea and technology, and your venture, to see the potential. So are there any guidelines or restrictions on regions and markets for commercialization of the startup? Does it have to be necessarily launched in markets in the US on Central Asia? I don't think that we have any geographical limits. I mean, as global as you might be is better. We have Asel Sarbayeva here with us, the CEO of Ensilitech. I know that her technology is global potential. It is not just about Central Asia or the United States. It is about global scale, and the impact is on the global scale. So, but at the same time, if your technology, if your solution is specifically designed for Central Asia, for the context of Central Asia, that's also absolutely fine. As Dina mentioned earlier, the purpose of the mission of the center and the purpose of this Deep Tech Bootcamp is not just to raise another unicorn, you know. It's to enhance our own capacity to generate scalable commercial products that are based on our knowledge, on our science. So, and that is why it's not so really important if it's like global scale or local. Any ideas are welcome. So please don't limit yourself. So our product solution has two target markets, health tech and agriculture. Do we have the possibility to specify both target markets? Yes, please. If your idea is applicable in 2-3 sectors, please include them. We need to know as much as possible about your technology and your venture. And what are the commercialization and investment attraction opportunities in this program? So within this program is actually designed, you know, to help you to commercialize, to build a commercial product out of your research. And I believe that for the in-person session, we will have some opportunities for pitching, not just maybe even within MIT. I cannot make very strong commitment that we will definitely do this, but we definitely will have some opportunities to pitch investors. My point is that at Cambridge, there are some other parts of the ecosystem where you can go and pitch. For example, we have like Venture Cafe. That's a global initiative where people can go. They gather like on a weekly basis every Thursday. And I hope that we can include our participants of our Deep Tech into their agenda and have a chance to pitch potential investors, you know, at the Venture Cafe. We will do our best to engage broader community at MIT for pitching sessions once you are ready. And I hope the purpose of this Deep Tech Bootcamp is to make you ready by the end of the program to pitch and to have a certain level of readiness. And if individuals are also okay to apply, You just have to describe as detailed as possible your idea, your technology. And if you do not have a team so far, that's fine. I believe that within the program, we will have one module that will be specifically focusing on how to build a team for a deep tech venture. So what else? Underage participants. So could you please clarify whether underage participants are eligible to join the program? I'm not sure what does it mean underage. I assume if like under 18 years old, that's the question. Well, I believe that that deep tech by definition means a certain level of maturity. If we have some genius people, like who have like really strong scientific background, yes, you can apply. But please keep in mind that Deep Tech program is not just another accelerator for startups. It is a program that is designed specifically for science-backed ventures and technologies. So that is why I believe, though we don't have formal age restriction, but like by definition, it means like more mature entrepreneurs and scientists.
But here, sorry, I just want to say, from the age perspective, I think it should be people should be 18 plus, because you need to have a passport, and there can be some visa restrictions, because we need to, as an HTP, we need to make a visa for you to the US. So that's why.
Yes, and let me say this way: we will collect. I mean, I'm not sure that we can answer all the questions that we have so far here, but we will definitely try to answer those questions in a written form, and the High Technology Park will distribute it to all participants. Is the program for Central Asia or citizens of Kyrgyz Republic? This particular program is designed only for the citizens of Kyrgyz Republic. It's not open for other Central Asian countries. So it's possible to add supplementary materials, videos, and yes, you can add supplementary materials to the application form, and there is a part for that. So please use it. What are the other programs? Nurzat, I'm not sure that I'm capable, to go very carefully through all the questions. Could you please take a look if we have any questions that were not addressed so far?
I think that we didn't cover the question related to, sorry. I have a project at the intersection of electronics and human psychology. Did you answer those?
No, I didn't see it. Could
So
you
the question is like this. I have a project at the intersection of electronics and human psychology. It's about the transmitting sensation of touch to the human body via prosthetic surface. My MVP now is not so advanced, but I'm preparing a scientific paper based on which I'm going to apply, basically. My question is, can MIT representatives help me with this? I would really like to share my project with Professor Hugh Har from MIT Media Lab to get feedback.
I think that would be a question, Dina, to you, like, because you know better, like if we are capable to connect participants of the program with the MIT faculty.
It's from Ilyas.
Definitely
Jabber.
try. We can definitely try when they're in Boston, when they're in Cambridge.
Yes, I would say I would encourage you to apply. It sounds like a very exciting idea, and it seems like if you are well advanced in that, yes, please, yes. We'll do our best, to connect you with the MIT faculty once you're here. Very important remark as well. So the High Technology Park covers the cost of the program but it covers the cost of the academic part of the program. It's not covering the cost of the travels and accommodation for in-person session here at MIT. So in my conversation with the High Technology Park, I know that there was an idea, it was discussed, if there might be any financial support for participants. I believe it would be up to the High Technology Park and up to the potential sponsors for this Deep Tech Bootcamp in-person session. But so far, it is responsibility of participants to cover the cost for in-person session to visit us at MIT. But the program will definitely provide visa support. And I hope that once we will define the participants of the program, and that would be early July, we will start with the visa processing with those who confirm their participation of in-person session in early September.
And here's a question. Could you please share the topics that will be covered during each week of the 4-week online workshop?
I'm
On a
not
high level, maybe?
I'm not sure that we have these details, but Ezgi, if you are still with us, maybe you can give a general introduction, how the program will look like for the bootcamp. I'm not sure if Ezgi is actually
I think she's not able to speak. I have the outline here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's okay. Jennifer has a crying baby. Maybe Adil, you can just take them through if you have it in front of you. I mean, in general, it's going to provide first an introduction of what deep tech is, and then it's going to go through the phases of what you need to do to go to market and to scale. So every module will take you closer and closer to what it will look like for you to actually get to market and be investment ready.
Yeah, I think just to add to what Dina just said, some of the important themes, I'm not going to go through the details, but some of the important themes is walking you through the product market fit journey. Since, as deep tech, if you're building a product, understanding how to get it from a lab idea to actually a market idea and where the actually clients and the business part comes in is a very important piece. Another very important piece is the operating plan. So how are you actually going to run this? How are you going to figure out the details that happen behind the product planning, behind the product building, behind the sourcing, and all the relevant pieces that come together until that product figures out how to go to the market? Two other, of course, pieces that definitely worth mentioning is financing and how to think about and go about financing deep tech ventures, since financing for deep tech is different than financing for other digitally focused, quicker, let's call startups, in which you could MVP or get quickly to a market or prototype in a few weeks. It takes a bit longer for deep tech ventures. And last but not least, what I'm going to be talking about, of course, Shamil already discussed teams and building teams, so I'm not going to talk about that, but definitely we're going to be talking about pitching and identifying how to pitch to the right people and how to pitch to the right thing. I would say those are some of the cornerstone pieces that we're going to be covering throughout the program.
Thank you.
Also, here's a question saying that there are many talented IT teams that operate within established companies rather than standalone startups. And the question, would it be possible for such teams to apply to the program with a startup project that they have developed, even if it is partially related to the company's core product? So it seems like they're applying with a company product, not as a startup standalone.
I'm happy to take that also briefly. And my suggestion is, I think that there is going to be a bit of detail to understand more about the IP and who owns the IP. So my suggestion would be, yes, please apply. And as part of our screening and interviewing process, we are going to be talking to you. We're going to be diving deeper into the details of the applicants that apply. And if there's anything that would prevent, we will be suggesting how to go about it to take it further. But yes, I do encourage you to apply in this case.
And also, I'm not sure if we covered this question. Is it okay if a solution is limited to the Central Asia? For example, it is intended to solve only local Central Asian issues. Can we include research part into the application? Say I know some research issue which influence Central Asian countries, but solution requires research to choose best way and identify steps to solve this issue.
I think we have covered this.
Okay.
Yes, we did cover this question.
Okay, great. I think, and there are no more questions now.
Right. If we don't have any, no, we do have from Nur Sultan DeepTech is have access to any of MIT laboratories, data sets, or computing facilities to support their R&D efforts, and also about IP. So I think that IP part, the intellectual property and patent registration and everything will be covered within the program. In terms of the access to MIT's labs and data sets and computing facilities, that would be probably question again back to you, Dina. If our participants during this in-person session will have a chance to access to MIT facilities like labs, and research
So
data.
MIT is an open campus. You can pretty much walk in and see anything. Can you actually use the labs? That is a question I don't have an answer to, and I suspect the answer is going to be no, because I think people who can actually use the labs have to be students, or there needs to be some kind of a collaboration university to university. So we can, and I also don't think you can do much in a week anyway, but you can definitely visit labs. You can meet MIT faculty affiliated with labs. If you make those requests, we can definitely aim to accommodate them.
And we have, thank you, Dina. And we have one more question. If could several founders from the same venture take part in the sessions and MIT visit? Yes, actually, it's like we aim to have up to like 10, 12 teams. That might be like individual person, or that might be a team of 2-3 persons, So the answer is yes. And I think it is important if you have a team to make sure that all the team members are on the same page, and get the same knowledge from the boot camp.
And question from Asil Sarbaeva, how many ventures are you planning to select? But
So,
you also covered it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that we are limited like to maybe 12. So far in all the documents we mentioned like up to 15. But for the online session, there was a question if participants can join only online session. I think it's a question would be to the high technology park. I don't see any limits actually for online sessions, but again, that would be a question to the high technology park, and again, we will need to discuss it with material impact, because depends on how intense the online session might be, and how interactive the online session will be. If it creates additional burden on instructors to have too many online participants. But in general, I believe that we're aiming to have like 12 teams, up to 12 teams, and very likely that somebody will not get their visas for in-person participation in Cambridge. So I believe we have answered all the questions that we have so far. Any other questions?
Yeah, let me check YouTube. Yeah, we covered their questions as well.
Well, if we do not have any questions, just to make a remark that this session is recorded and it will be available online on YouTube. So if you miss some information or you forget something, you can always get back and see the whole conversation here. And I believe that we'll make maybe some summary of this conversation, you know, with the questions answered that High Technology Park can share as well. And we just dropped the link here in the chat window. Again, the link to the application form. I hope it's straightforward and clear enough how to use it. And the deadline is June 20th. So please do not waste your time and do your best to apply as soon as possible. I want to thank my team. I want to thank Dina, Adel, Jennifer, Ezgi, Nurzat for your participation and making it happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to see your applications, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dina, Adele. Thank you,
Welcome.
Shamil.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.